Hello and welcome to episode 10 of the PSDCast series, following the online OOTP League, PSD. I'm your host, Tim, here, along with John, RJ, Spencer, and Will. Welcome, gentlemen.
Hey, what up?
What's up?
So, our topic today is going to
Hi.
be how we can improve each team in 2 minutes. So, we're going to go alphabetical order, or somewhat alphabetical order, down the list of teams in our league. And we're each going to, or not each get 2 minutes, we're going to get 2 minutes per team to basically say how we would improve each team. This was a concept brought up by RJ. RJ, you want to expand on it a little bit?
Pretty simple. I just thought it'd be fun if originally it was just gonna be me and you, but Spencer, Will, and John were all around, and I think we all believe here in PSD that the more the merrier on the cast. So, we're all just gonna kind of play off each other a little bit and just see, what's the most immediate thing that we can sort of identify for each team, contender, pretender, even a loser, like me who just dealt my ace to get better in the next couple of years. What could we do immediately to improve each team? That's it.
Yeah, great. Looking forward to it. So we're just gonna get this thing going right off the bat here. We have the Arizona Diamondbacks. I'm starting our 2 minute timer, and we are good to go. Let's do this. Let's start with Spencer. What do you think? What can the Arizona Diamondbacks do here to get
Um,
better?
Before the season started, I would have said extend Roman, which they did. Like they definitely are at a point where, they have like a couple really good core pieces, and then some more coming along the way. Like I didn't realize how deep Arizona's farm system was, but like at this point, I think the strategy is to just hope their core players don't fall off a cliff until like the next wave from the farm comes up, because that's just going to be in a year or two, and then they're going to be in a really really good spot. You could say like maybe trade one of their bullpen pieces just because they have so many of those coming up, and then they can restock that way. But I think Arizona's in pretty good shape in the immediate future.
RJ.
What I want to know is how did he get Roman to take 20 mil average annual value when Chris had to pay Sabarito 35 mil average annual value? Sabarito is 4 years older and like worse. I do not understand how Arizona got that contract locked in. Well done in any case.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, fantastic deal. He's only 26.
Yeah, he's one of the best values in the league. That's incredible.
Will, what do you got? Will, you there?
I don't know much about Arizona, but I still think it's a great deal for that catcher.
Will, you're
Yeah, I
lagging. You're
think
lagging here.
they should be aiming to compete the NL West, oh, yeah. Um, how much of cross did I get? Just that Arizona could compete?
Yeah, you got that pretty much.
All right. Yeah, that's all I got to say.
John, you got anything? Are you there?
Oh yeah, yeah. Basically, all he needs is time. I think. I mean, if he picked up starting pitcher, or two, just to bolster the rotation, because the prospects look like they're a little way off. Maybe McKinley comes up. The other ones look farther off. So if we picked up one good anchor for the rotation that's relatively young,
All right.
that would be the main move.
Great. I will forego my time here with Arizona as we have hit the 2 minute mark. Who is our next A team here? Who do we got? Uh, is there an A team?
Atlanta.
It's Atlanta, and I'm going to go ahead and just take this one for everybody. They need to fix their defense like last week, and it's just there's no way this pitching staff is the worst in the NL, but their defense is just atrocious.
Yeah, I'm kind of scrolling through here just
Oh God, yeah.
the
It's
defensive
terrible.
ratings.
It's across the board. It's not one guy, and the really sad part, like they're not hitting either. So the position player talent in Atlanta is just like non-existent right
I was
now.
gonna say non-existent. Exactly. Just not.
Signed Zarate for 2061, and he's not even playing it. Might be the better option because of
His best player is Kobayashi. I mean, and he's
39-year-old Kobayashi.
leading the Braves to glory.
It really is incredible that this team could have multiple players who end up with like a minus 30 ZR. Like that's in the cards,
Yeah.
which is they're going to get a good draft pick.
Then you look over his starters and his bullpen, and you just got to imagine them like turning around after another error and just being like, "God damn it, not again!"
His starters are so good. I never knew they were that good. Escobar, 80 potential.
Yeah, no, they're incredible.
78. Couple guys in the 60s.
I do have to realize, or we do have to realize here that he is also only on pace for 47 wins, which is a little bit below our 50-win cap. So what can he do, real quick, right now? What can he do to improve?
Call up some center fielder.
He's got to get a real center
system
fielder
with 100 range.
Yeah, defense.
Sign one of these slap hitting center fielders who can't hit a damn but is like 100 at all three positions. Like, it's a better
Steve
outcome.
Harper is single-handedly ruining his team right now. He's on pace for -4 wins.
Yeah, that's brutal. All right, that is our 2-minute mark, and we're going to move on to the next team, Baltimore Orioles. Anybody want to start it off? All right, I will.
Okay.
I'll take the bullet on this one. It's okay. Let's see. What are we looking at here? So it looks like he has a really, really nice offense rolling. Which RJ, you had said some previous things about his offense. I recall.
What I said was Oakland's offense is just as good. That's all. I think you were kind of putting him in a tier on his own. I think that it's.
I kind of think he is though.
I mean that's fair to think. I reckon, but when I compare his team to Oakland, it's pretty similar.
Oakland is nasty though. We'll get to Oakland, but
we will. I'd say if Paul wants to really just make a quick addition that will help, he's got I get a catcher platoon partner for Medellin. He's playing this guy, Caleb Frost. He's hitting 065.
Well, let me see here. Oh, yeah, that is no good.
His start Medellin's on pace for 2 wins, but Frost is on pace for -1.3. So if you just got a guy who's just going to give complete league average production, it's a huge upgrade. Just getting Frost out of the lineup.
Right. Yeah, I agree. He lefty catcher bats, though tough to find right now. I think he could maybe go out and I was gonna say maybe go out and get a starter, but like this dude's coming into his own, still a rookie. Dan Jones.
Actually, so Boston's fire sailing and Wally Long is available. That might be an option for Paul.
But dude, he can if Paul could go out and acquire Derek Gray, or a Steve Donovan, your former guy. Who else were you saying?
The catcher, Wally Long.
Oh, Walt Long. Yeah.
Walt Long, sorry. Lefty, 90 ability. I mean, he'd be perfect for Medellin. So if I'm Paul, I'm getting John on the horn, like, immediately.
Yeah, and John's willing to sell, too. Big time, I think. I think he's, like, invested in that. So go hit him up.
Maybe.
Boston. All right, we are at the 2-minute mark for Baltimore. We're going to move on to the Boston Red Sox here. Just looking at his team, does anybody want to take this one off?
Yeah, because I don't think they should sell.
Totally agree. Why do you say that?
I say that because, like, once you get past Condon, it's actually a fairly young roster, and I think, like, the East is a very shallow division right now, relatively speaking.
Right, they're not beating the crap out of each other.
Right, exactly. And also, the fact that they have Eric Petty, who's, probably going to be ready a year from now or two, or maybe 2. Like, you can absolutely kind of, stay together until then. And then maybe Condon starts to fall off in a year or 2, but then you have an ace coming up. And, like, the rest of the team should, other than getting slightly more expensive, will largely be intact. Like, I understand that like it's becoming more of a seller's market, and so like you want to capitalize on that, but like Boston's in a good spot.
I actually, really quick, just to harp on that, I actually think it is a buyer's market, but a lot of prospects were traded to selling teams this past offseason, which does include me and Vegas. But I'm just saying a lot of talent moved in different directions here, so I actually think it's a yeah a seller. Definitely a seller's market for sure. John, you got anything? How does he improve?
Yeah, really.
Or
I think he'd want to get center fielder.
and and I
Because
do want
neither of
to.
them are.
Well, here, let me say this. I do want to preface that like we could also say improving by just like overall, you know, getting a really solid prospect out of a pitcher.
Right, right. Because I
But
mean,
what were you saying?
I've had Manny Cedeno, and he's never hit particularly great, and his defense has never been particularly good. So yeah, maybe a center fielder. Maybe he needs to bolster the bullpen a little bit. And he's got that starter coming. So yeah, I mean a center fielder that can play good D, because it looks like great
Oh, hold
defense
on.
in left field, great in right field. But Manny Cedeño's 34 and he was never great to begin with. So maybe a center fielder, but yeah, he can compete now. So
You
I'm
might
not
as
sure
well
why
just
he's selling.
swap
I'll take advantage though.
Daniel and Martinez, no?
What'd
What'd
you
you
say?
say?
Might as well just put Martinez in center. He's got 88 range. He's already on the roster. Put Martinez in center. Put Cedeno in right, and then put Villanueva in left.
Yeah, and Martinez is
Yeah,
going to
you
learn it
could do
with that
that.
adaptability too. He'll get better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he needs to find a shortstop too. Like, 74
Like
is
Camacho?
is pretty third baseman like.
Yeah,
The
Camacho.
the 84 range not bad, but he kind of like negative 2.4 zone rating. His errors are
Yeah,
nice. He does have
want the
the arm
bat
in the
to
double
make up
play,
for it.
but I'd have to look at him in like the advanced fielding stats and see how he's picking up
Yeah.
on these other three. Just the range just bothers me. I feel like it's so necessary for the shortstop.
I think
He's
Spencer
flanked
had
by
it
two
right. I
pretty
mean,
good infielders, though, so that
Hunter
helps a
needs
little bit.
to sit tight. Does not need to sell right now.
All
Yep.
right, we are at the 2 minute mark. We're moving on to the Chicago White Sox. Will, do you have anything that you want to start with since he's in the division? All right, Spencer.
Sure, I guess. I was looking at Boston stuff, so I haven't looked at Chicago. I mean, it's tough to say because like Chicago's like made it very clear that like they have a established window, like it's 3 years, and then that's it. So, I don't know what to say really about Chicago. Like they have a defined window. So like get better in those 3 years, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, you'd think that he would try and acquire like a third baseman. Like I've talked about over the last few years, like it's such a prevalent, like a really solid market to buy third baseman. And he's starting
The D
this guy,
position.
like this guy. I found Cortez, this guy on waivers, 55. Like it's really not like that difficult to find a third baseman right now, and I don't know why he's.
Well,
I get that he moved Robbie White to first, but like I don't know.
but
I mean,
that's
Juan
that's
Griffin
it.
does have pretty heavy splits. So if you're facing 80% righties and like his ratings against those are actually pretty good, like it's not the worst thing in the world.
2054. So the last 4 years before this one, he was 132, 109, 105, 114 OPS plus. So it's not horrible. I mean, I don't know what else he can do. What get a catcher that can hit? I mean,
Those don't exist
this
though.
team's pretty great.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's one thing I've noticed. Nobody has catchers.
No, nobody does.
This guy's not bad though.
No.
He is bad, but like he's not that bad.
Great defense.
I'll take that avoid K every day.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
Ron Davis is his other guy. We are at the 2 minutes, by the way. We just do a little more here. Just looking in. He needs to acquire a third baseman. That's my improvement. Like yesterday, he needs to acquire a third baseman. Like this is not acceptable from a guy that's competing in the AL West right now. That's just my point of view. Unless he has someone out coming up the pipeline, but like I mean, I guess he has this guy too, but I don't know. I feel like it's a really easy market to find. All right, we're going to move on to the Cubs. A team that is not often talked about as much as we think, you know. They've been getting a little more traction recently, but RJ?
Yeah.
It's kind of always the same song with Chicago. I mean, they're good at everything. To be frank, on the MLB roster, I'm not sure there is a weakness right now, particularly given how weak the rest of the division is. I see Chicago winning the East by double-digit games, probably. The rotation's deep. He's got 3 studs in the pen, and then I mean, he hits. So I'm not sure what Kiefer does to improve necessarily.
And Simmons is still premium too.
Just needs to keep those printing presses in the basement of Wrigley running.
That's right.
Let's see how much money he has. Hold on.
They should be the early favorites for
Careful,
Jimenez.
it's proprietary info, Tim.
What do you say?
His finances are proprietary.
Yeah, we can't see those unless you're in commission.
Oh no,
So it's
I'm
not
looking
just
at the meet the team. Just like his money for free agents and his money for extensions.
Yeah.
Not his actual
I mean,
accounting and stuff.
His current second baseman, Miranda, is going to be a free agent, so you have to figure Chicago's going to be in the mix for Jimenez if he hits free agency, which, you know, makes sense because Jimenez is awesome. So that's my suggestion. Sign him in the offseason.
Do we think? Hold on, actually, we'll get to it when we talk about the Mets. Anyone else have a thought on the Cubs? What do they need to do to improve?
Oh. What do you say? You say Bunting's old and he needs a longer-term center fielder? Really, there's not a much. Yeah, he doesn't have much center field behind Bunting, I guess. But what more? What can you say, really?
Yeah, his entire team is good.
Yeah.
Oh wow, his staff is nice too. I love this guy, John Rocker Jr.
Except he's outspoken.
In the league.
That 103 fastball at 99 to 101 over the top as a lefty. Yeah.
And 70 movement.
Yeah, big fan of the 1 pitch guy or the 1.5 pitch guy. All right, we are
It's basically a one-pitch guy.
He is basically a 1 pitch guy. He'll get you the out. All right, we are moving on to my team. I will open this up for commentary.
And we got to talk about Esteban Alvarez, brother.
Yeah, dude, don't do this to me right now.
How does someone put up an MVP season as a rookie and follow it up with a negative wire pace?
What is a sophomore slump?
Esteban Alvarez.
Alvarez, dude. This is like 203, 296, 366. He's down just across the board. It's actually lightweight depressing because like he came in for Santos last year and was like super clutch. But like now I'm actually like performing half decent with like an absolutely torn down roster and he's like nowhere to be found. It's kind of hilarious. I'm not entirely sure what I did to
doing his thing, you know.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what I did to deserve this, but it's an anomaly, I hope.
You gonna capitalize on Ben Rick's career year?
No, nobody wants him. He's gone.
No one's ever wanted Ben Rick.
He's a free agent. But do you see this? He's never put up an OPS plus below 100. And nobody has touched him. It's wild to me. Like, it's wild.
Because the defense.
I don't give a shit. It's not even that bad.
Well, he's a severe platoon guy. That's the only
There's
issue.
nothing wrong with being a platoon guy, though, because he gets 450 ABs every year.
Yeah, he's starting 75% of the time. That's just how the league works.
Look, I'll always ride for Ben Ricks.
But Garza getting a full-time role this year instead of platooning with Lambright or like being the third outfielder next to Lambright, he's popped off in comparison to last year. So
57 home run pace, nice.
Yeah, he's rolling. And then this staff, real quick, we'll just we're almost at the 2-minute mark, but I got my boy Ted closing for me. Not bad. I mean, actually terrible, but I got to put him somewhere. Where do you guys think that Chipperson's gonna go?
Oof. I don't know.
Doesn't matter. He's gonna die.
I don't think Chipperson's going anywhere.
Oh shit.
The injured list.
Well,
Can't say he's wrong.
I don't know, man.
seriously, with Chris and Smith, I don't know who's even. I'm lying. I do know who's looking for his pitching, but I don't know if they're gonna pay for Chipperson.
He's gonna trade me for Watkins, guaranteed.
Fuck out of here.
I like I've said this entire time, I can get creative. All right, let's move on. Enough about my old team. Let's talk about the Indians. What do we need to do here? They have an overall terrible roster, but can we look at the bright side? His system, is it even bright?
Yes.
Yes.
He's got the number one prospect.
He's got big, which is disgusting to me.
Oh man, yeah, he's approaching Thorpe territory.
Don't
No, he's
play.
not. Hold
Stop.
on.
Stop, dude.
All he needs is those first.
Who said that? Was that
35.
RJ? Was that RJ? I need to
Starter.
timestamp this. Hold on. What the hell?
No, no one. You can't say that about anyone.
Do we realize how Thorpe had like 6 pitches and they were all like 90 plus? Like,
We don't need to go back to Thorpe. We've done so much Thorpe.
sorry, 5
content.
pitchers: fastball, sink, cutter, curveball, change. Like, and his change was his best pitch.
Look, I'm looking Thorpe's up because
35 stuff is harder though.
All right, real quick, we got to stay on topic. How does he improve? I'm just looking at his system real quick. I'm just rolling through his specs, but there's not much to see on his major league roster. I mean, he could literally trade for anybody and it'd be an improvement.
Yeah,
so
really need more starting pitching, but gonna see if he has anything redeeming in the lineup.
go back in time and don't sign Santos. That's an improvement.
Oh, Santos. Yeah, he is.
I mean,
last year wasn't bad, but he has not performed to what you'd hope for a $200 million man.
Yeah, and it's like that contract's not tradable. And I think Cleveland knew they were rebuilding when he signed that contract. So, like, what was the point?
I mean, it does scale down, so maybe he's hoping to trade him in these last 2-3 years. He sees
But
something.
power guys also fall off a cliff. So,
Yeah.
like,
Again,
that's a very risky game.
Yeah, we've said this a few times where there's no first baseman older than 36 in the league. So,
Yep.
Good luck to Joe Santos. All right, we're going to move on to the next team here. The Colorado Rockies. Rocktober. Well, maybe not Rocktober, at 20-29 this year. It's actually kind of interesting because his team doesn't look bad on paper.
And that's after selling off some pieces.
Yeah,
Yeah, I regret trading this dude, but then I don't at the same time.
I think the big thing is he's going to be so glad that Dave Wolf is going to be going after this season. There's your addition by subtraction. That'll give him so much room.
Wait, who's going to be leaving? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Dave Wolf, $50 million.
Oh, Dave Wolf. Oh, got you. Dave Wolf. Yeah, that was a rough contract for a man that plays in Colorado.
Yeah.
Let's compare real quick to his previous years. He was the most productive in terms of WAR, but he also had the most at bats. Much better in Montreal for sure. Montreal really flipped him, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't. He did not. He got a 62 potential third baseman, 53, 43. So I'm just looking real quick. 48. I guess it wasn't bad. I mean, for Ryan at least.
And I don't know what his total, budget is, but that's got to easily be taken up more than a third of the budget of the team, I would think.
He's
around
he's $150 million budget, so yes, it's pretty much. I think it is exactly a third, yeah, or slightly over.
Yeah. So
RJ, what do you think? What can he do?
I mean, he's got the worst bullpen in the league. So he's going to try to compete right now. He's got to add 3-4 bullpen guys, probably. The
Yeah,
offense is playing. I mean, he's just not competitive after the 5th inning. So
Also, Leo Aiden should not be playing in the outfield, especially in Coors.
Leo Aiden shouldn't
get
be
him
in the
to first
NL.
base get him to first base or ship him out. Like, I love that guy's bat.
He's
but,
a 73 overall DH. Like, please help
And
help the
I was
man.
talking to him, I says, I don't know why you're paying this guy so much put him in the Coors outfield would be huge.
If he was if the NL had DH, he may have been an MVP last year. Just because his WAR was tanked by his defense, and he still put up 5.9.
Yeah,
I hope
he's losing
I
two
hope
and a half
God
runs
he
a
never
year.
DH happens.
But yeah, obviously there's a problem because LeBlanc exists, and that's another cornerstone player. But Aiden just can't survive in the outfield.
Yeah, and I mean at least LeBlanc is an actual first baseman too.
Mm-hmm.
He's not killing it over there or destroying you on defense. All right, we're gonna move on to the next team here. It is going to be the Detroit Tigers. Ooh, how can we improve the Detroit Tigers?
By continuing to lose so they can get a better pick.
They can get a better pick. Who's at the top of this draft? Have we even looked? That might be. No, nothing. Lyndon Jones. This dude looks
Okay.
really nice. Well, if one out of 72 changeup, how much do you trust it? Dan Jones, another Jones. Can we see Jones at the top of the draft next year? Danny Elkins. All right, Detroit. He needs that top pick. He needs a starter.
Yep.
He might get it too because those other three teams are kind of pushing the 50-win mark. So he
Yeah. What? I gotta look real quick. What are the teams that were teetering around that? You guys can keep on talking. I'm gonna look real quick.
Yeah, he doesn't have a bullpen either, basically.
If you want a concrete move, I would consider shifting that catcher, Kilohana. There's so many teams that are contending that are desperate for a catcher, especially considering he's hitting well and there's a lefty and actually plays decent defense. You could get a good haul for that catcher, and it doesn't fit Detroit's timeline to keep him around.
He's on a fantastic contract too. I mean, he could legitimately get a superstar prospect. I feel out of Kilohana.
not a superstar prospect.
Well, what do you consider a superstar? Not an 80, but
not an 80. I'm talking
definitely
65 to 75. I feel he could acquire.
I agree.
I don't know. Especially with the contract, where he sits, his catching ability, even though his arm's kind of trash, he's still going to be playable at catcher more than the dude that Havana has, as is John Harris. This dude's still more playable than that. So, I don't know. This is super worth for literally any winning team that needs a catcher.
Mm-hmm. Capitalize on that now while he's hitting well. Send his ass out of town and get a good haul.
And before the game boosts any more catchers.
Yeah.
All right, that is the end of Detroit's time. We're going to move on to the Havana Sugar Kings. This is going to be interesting. How do we improve the Sugar Kings?
They already did it. They subbed out Lauren Corbin for Don Smith. So
don't trash my boy Corbin like that. The worst player by overall on this roster by a decent margin. And he has absolutely sucked at him.
He's pitching hurt or something.
He did have a 2 to 3 month undisclosed injury with one setback this past offseason. Or no, that was the previous offseason, I'm sorry, but still. Probably injured.
Yeah, so he's swapping out his 7 ERA for Smith. And I mean, if there was a weakness, it was the number 5 starter. So it's the AL.
Really.
Yeah, he's just deep all around too. And he has the system to back him up if he needs it.
I'd bite the bullet and move Harris to first so I can get his bat in the lineup quicker because he's not catching at the major league level.
I agree.
So he's got Perkins out there at first, so
Perkins can DH.
good lord. His ERA is ops plus the last 5 years, 129, 139, 122, 148, and 142. Good lord.
Yeah, you can DH Perkins easily though.
Yeah, that's true.
Wouldn't say Harris is ready right now, though, would you?
No, his bat's a year away though. His catching ability is more than 2 years away. It's a big gap.
I wouldn't say his what's his ceiling as a catcher overall, like a 50 and a 45 ability in this league is just I don't think that's
unplayable.
Yeah.
It's not. So yeah.
The fuck has him deep? Hell. So I went to Prospect Pipeline just to find him. John
Yeah,
Harris.
like-
Yeah, I don't think he's even gonna be a catcher in the league. Like,
No.
his fielding is gonna be far. I mean, he seems like he's done okay in the minors, but like, I don't know.
I'm more concerned with the catcher ability than his arm even, because that'll affect the staff's ERA to some degree.
does.
True.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna move on to our next team here. Let me do this real quick. So Kansas City Royals. We have Will in the call too, so we'll see what we have to talk about this. His team. Does one of the AL West teams want to start?
I mean, I like the direction they're going. I told you so that you're not going to compete this year. But like, I don't know. The pieces are in the minors and they're coming up. So, like, Will, what do you think you need to do? You're not here.
I think there's some pieces I need to move down because they are just underperforming to such an extreme. Like
who?
Jeff Little, he's been awful. I feel like I could put in literally anyone, and I would have a better team.
Holy shit. 37 OPS plus, dude.
Will.
First base? What?
Okay, hold on. I got a hot take here. Will, go acquire Leo Aiden from Colorado. Spend the money, get yourself a primo DH that has a future as a DH in the AL.
What's his is he lefty?
Yes.
Yeah, he's a lefty.
He is a premium offense. He's a 73 overall DH, and there is no reason that he should be fielding in the NL. That's my improvement for you right there. Go acquire this guy. You have the prospects.
Now,
You can overwhelm
Leo
Tommy.
Aiden has those Kevin Baker rating. That's
Here's
what
the
Baker
thing, though. Should I trade? Because it
Wait,
would
what'd you
take Daryl Donaldson to get Leo Aiden, and it's do I want to commit that hard?
No, I wouldn't do Donaldson. I would probably. You have enough prospects to make something work. Just without Donaldson, I think.
I kind of agree with him. It would take one of Donaldson and Crutcher.
You think so?
Yeah, both of them are
Yeah.
what, three years off? 3 years off at least.
Yeah, I think Aiden's still pre-arb, so he has 3 more years after this year. Like it would take one. It would take one of Crutcher.
He'll be in
and
arbitration next year, so he'll be getting paid.
Donaldson. Yeah.
Well, actually, maybe not, but real quick, let me do this. Go to his.
Yeah, I mean, and it's just, either that or you wait on the starting pitching prospect. But I'll say this, it looks like outfield is old. That's one thing I picked up on, because outside of Rob Moore, 35, 33,
Well, look what I
32,
have coming
36.
up in the farm.
Yeah, he has a lot of young outfielders coming.
Right. So that may be it's just a case of, need patience.
Yeah, I
Yep.
think Leo Aiden would do you right, but I don't know if I'd trade Crutcher or Donaldson for him. So, all right, that is our time with the Kansas City Royals. We're gonna move on to the Los Angeles Angels, another AL West team. What do we think?
So I'll spill a little bit of tea here. Zergen was one of the handful of guys who hit me up about Smith. And looking at his roster, it is pretty obvious. He's really just missing
That starter.
number 1 and a number 2, really.
I mean, yeah, Pate's not even really a number 2 anymore. It's kind of trash now.
And Holland's just not there yet. But he's very close. Holland is a stud. I love this guy.
Ooh. Fastball,
Fastball,
curveball,
curveball, slider, screwball. That's sexy.
Do you think that he brought him up too early?
Um,
He's already got 109 days in the MLB. He pitched last year too.
Yep.
Yes, I do, because the stats. And first of all, he didn't even start in the minors.
He
Oh,
was a
wow,
reliever.
Yeah, only in A-ball. He had 1 year in
This dude
A-ball
is
where he started
fragile at
primarily.
23. That's like
Which I mean,
Oh, did he add pitches maybe? He
mm,
boosted
wouldn't
his
have
stuff
added
big
two.
time. He's always been rated as a starter too, so
yeah, not sure what happened.
He may have added one. There's no way he added 2 pitchers, so he's definitely.
No,
gonna
it was
start
the
from
velocity
beginning.
increase too. That'll help.
Mhm.
But
Any case, I mean, he's proven through 50 innings that he's probably not ready. Which I imagine is why he was hitting me up about Smith, trying to get him out of the rotation.
needs someone.
And I mean, I'm
Yeah.
just looking at it from the standpoint. I mean, he's got what 25 more to go on the ball, 44 to go on the slider. Pitches usually don't improve very much once you've hit the big league. Most of their improvement comes in the minors. So, is he ever going to fill out that slider? Does he need to? Maybe not.
Mhm.
You know, but he probably should have had another year in AAA.
I think the slider is like the bread and butter here, though. Like,
Yeah, it makes the whole thing work, I think.
again, I like you guys know my opinion on just the fastball curveball issue. So if he adds the slider, then I think like he's that much better. You know, like it really turns him from being like an okay, he's a pretty good starter to like okay, this dude's elite. All right, but that's our time with the Angels. We're gonna move on to our next team, the Dodgers, my least favorite team in the league. I like the GM though. The GM's cool, but the colors and stuff. Oof. I guess I'll start with this because he's in my division, and my least favorite team. Dude, the second baseman, Jose Martinez. I guess he's just a platoon right now. Hold on, let's see who his actual guy is.
He's not starting. David Gonzalez is starting.
That's his actual.
Second baseman, yeah.
Yeah, going through real quick. Look at his roster. Lovos. So this is a dude. So back when he traded me Moro Gonzalez, this was his the choice. It was between Moro and Lovos. And I think equally were both good choices. This dude's awesome.
Wow.
Yeah, right. He had these both of these two guys coming up at the same time in his system. But yeah, pretty wild. So he traded him, or he traded Moro to allow Lovos to come up, which is a really, really excellent move, I thought. Chon, this dude popped off last year in the playoffs, 2 MVPs. But what I think he can do is, I'm trying to think here. It's tough, like on the spot, but it seems like maybe his middle infield. David Gonzalez, I guess he's okay.
His shortstop is garbage, but everybody else is a stud. Dude, Gonzalez is a monster.
Yeah, you got him from.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, oh wait, I thought he came from Vegas, but nope, he's been on his team for a minute.
Did Sean ever boost? Because that is a crazy reasonable contract for his skills. He's 25 and it's 11 mil a year for 5 years.
Wait,
And
which
he's-
guy?
He has a sick
Sean-
nickname too,
Oh,
Vaporlock.
John,
He
okay.
was a free agent.
Yeah.
He wasn't as good. He's an international free agent.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's crazy.
Came in with 58, 81 contact. Now he's 87, 87.
93 contact for
Damn.
Brady.
He came in last year at 24, and he developed, like 30, just about 30 contact. That's actually crazy for a year.
I remember wanting Chon badly, because I realized he could play first.
Yeah, and then that he's just really popped off. Yeah, Chon's awesome.
118 OPS plus, 168 OPS plus, 50 points of OPS plus.
All right,
With the defense, you're just fine with playing him against lefties and just accepting it, you know?
Uh-huh.
just looking into his pitching staff real quick. Maybe he could acquire a starter.
Yeah.
His top guy is Fareed. He's probably more of a number 2 than he is a number 1.
Conklin's like a Lauren Corbin Jr. though, bro.
Is he? Let me see. Hold on. Conklin. John Conklin.
Yeah,
Lefty,
hasn't
he's
really
not bad,
started
actually.
before.
I'd
A
start him.
nice little 2-win pace as a number 5. I mean, he doesn't look like much, but
I mean, the 68, 67, 64, that turns me on. I know
He's a
some of
lefty.
you guys aren't fans of like the low stuff game, but like
I love him too. I'm
I
right
think
there with you.
it's easy value in the low overalls, but
Got no split.
he needs to acquire a starter. He could have went after Don Smith too. Does he have a system though? Kind
Not
of.
sure. He didn't. He did not inquire
He
at
did
all,
not
and I
slide in?
definitely would have thought about it.
Yeah, that would have been an interesting one because that might have propelled him past Mike. Honestly, Mike is good. Don't get me wrong, but like, look at the difference here. 6 games, like, and he's playing at a really nice pace too. All right, we got to move on to our next team here. The Miami Marlins. Probably
Oh.
I don't know how to explain
Yeah,
the
good
Marlins. What do we
awful
think?
Fan favorite.
Fan favorite? Everybody wants him. Would we
Yeah.
hold on? Would we all cheer for Walt as our number one team in the playoffs if he made it? Like
Absolutely.
regardless of our own, not
For
regardless, but
sure, he hasn't made it yet since he's been here.
Sorry, no one.
he has a pretty decent roster actually. Could
Who's
definitely make
also
some
in on
improvements though.
Smith?
What'd you say, RJ?
Who's also in on Smith?
He was. What did he? What did he come with? Did he offer his top
he came
three
a little
guys?
bit late. I came a little bit late, so I never go look at his system, to be honest. He also would have been in play. I mean, if I could have gotten,
Martinez.
He rolled into my DMs on Aguilar too. So
yeah,
I asked for one of the top three. Martinez, O'Day. No, not O'Day. I don't like his personality. Maybe Nunez. Yeah, Nunez is cool. I like that 91 range.
yeah.
Rangy center fielder, but also a righty, kind of. Yeah. He but also does he need third baseman? He has it. First base though. I guess it's a young guy. Needs to boost up a little bit.
Hardy.
Let's look at his stats.
Ratings aren't bad though.
High contact first baseman seems to do really well. So
Morales is.
Thought about taking Robinson for Rookie of the Year.
So I'm glad that Miami's finally winning because this dude obviously you can tell he has a nice desire to win. I think, just because Miami has lost every year and his ERA plus has tanked due to it, and then now he's this year he's kind of starting to do well. I think, or pitching well at least better than previous seasons. So if Miami can keep up the winning, then I'd expect that to stay about the same.
if he traded one of the starting pitching prospects, either Martinez or O'Day, for like a really good outfielder, I wouldn't hate it. Outfield's just kind of meh.
He kind of just needs he just needs a star on offense, in in one of his weaker positions, Definitely outfield for sure. I think actually I completely agree with you.
Yep.
He has the
Yeah,
spot. He has the
outfield.
spot for it, and he has the prospect. So we'll see what he does coming into the deadline. But that's going to be our time for the Miami Marlins. We're going to move on to the Milwaukee Brewers, and I'll just go to his players real quick so we could look at that. RJ, you want to start it off?
Yeah, I mean, Alex will admit this right away. His starting pitching is just not competitive right now.
Yeah, not just treating Cherry and Hardy.
Well,
He's got depth outside of that, pretty much like at every other position, but he just
so
losing games after the third inning.
if this guy had more than 70 stamina, he'd probably be like a 70 overall, right? Not even gonna lie. Fastball curve, circle change. I don't like the fastball curve, obviously, but this is pretty nice with the 80 control
Right.
too. You roll in that circle change down, it doesn't even matter what you got left,
You're still giving him he's on pace for 200 innings, so
He's got a nice deal for him too. Here's a free agent signing. Really?
That's a really
What?
good deal.
Who did this? He was with the A's.
How did none of us realize this?
Oakland
Wait,
became a
which
minor
guy?
league free agent out of Oakland. Wow.
He's never
Wait,
had a
what-
bad ERA plus in his life. Come on. What are we
Which
doing?
guy are we talking about?
Juan
Marino.
Marino.
Okay.
He was drafted or a minor league contract. He was just a regular
just-
IAFA. Yeah.
Just aged out of Oakland system, dude.
Interesting.
I never even saw that guy pop up.
And Oakland didn't even see him. Well, we're on Oakland here
Wow.
soon, so maybe we could talk about this. But Moreno's popping off. He's not a bad pickup from Alex. Underrated for sure.
That's what he does, in my opinion. He's
This
like the
probably
Bill
popped
Bel-
up, and Alex was jumping for joy as it happened. I mean, honestly, you see this out of any guy, the ERA plus, everything's over 100. You're getting a good guy.
How could Chris let this happen? How could he let someone else get one? That's what's true.
Darn it. All right. Spencer, you got anything you want to say?
About the Brewers,
Yeah.
I don't know why they traded both of their good starters. Like I understand like wanting to restock the system when you think you're like comfortably a playoff team, but like trading both of them just seemed like overkill. I don't know if it was a salary situation, but they're definitely paying for it now. So yeah, go back in time and don't trade both those guys.
Yeah, kind of pushed himself out of the playoff, but I think he knew that his staff was starting to age out a bit, you know? Needed to hit the reset button, but he still has an overall solid team, and that's another interesting thing. Another interesting thing too is that he still has a lot of his offense. I mean, it's kind of the same as me, where the winning team is ravaged through his pitching staff to get those top guys. Well, I guess he still has a few guys up here, but they traded his starters, but nobody's trading for his offense, you know. So I think maybe a way for him to improve would maybe try and enter the offensive trade market, but I don't know. Depends on his goals, you know, and how fast he wants to start winning again. All right, we're gonna move on to the Minnesota Twins. This is an interesting one. 25-23 at 500. What do they need to do? Or not at 500, but right next to it.
It's a good
He
question.
got the weirdest offensive profile I've ever seen. So he's ninth in average, 11th in on base, 6th in slugging, but somehow this all adds up to number 1 in the AL in runs scored.
Wow.
That is called sequencing.
So what, does that just mean he's
man.
setting his lineups really nice? He's just producing the most value?
I think it's mostly luck,
Or
honestly.
BABIP?
When you're not even BABIP because the OBP is low. Like I think they're just happening in clusters. Like the hits and walks are happening in clusters, and that turns into more runs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think
I
it's
wonder-
mostly that.
Dude, it bothers
I
me
guess the
that...
question is are his runs scored going to regress,
Yes.
or all of the rate stats, I guess, progress? His offense is really good. Like if you look at who's hitting, I mean, these guys are studs. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I like his offense. But like, you know which one of those is going to happen. Like it's going to be
regress.
the run scored regress to the right stats, not the other way around.
But I mean, Dorn's not producing.
Dorn can improve.
He needs to
Gutierrez-
acquire an
Gutierrez has
outfielder.
been hurt.
But
So yeah, Gutierrez coming back helps.
He doesn't have the
He's-
benefit of the system like Miami does. You know, I feel like they're kind of in a very similar spot. You know, where they both have. I guess Miami does have a little bit better of a pitching staff, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Like they're very similar, I guess, in like their staging, and I feel like both of them could go about acquiring a star outfielder.
Just real quick, what do you guys do with Liu Jiang?
Okay, yeah,
I was
That's
just
a good
about to
question.
ask about him.
Good question. Because this is, so I talked to Nigel like quite a bit on trading stuff, and this dude was always like on my mind, and I was not sure what to think. Still terrified of the guy. Yeah, like
He's like literally the wild. He's wild thing.
how do you value him? Like, what do we?
Man, I would want him out of my system so quickly. Like I just can't handle that kind of volatility.
But would you throw him in as a flyer on something, or would you try and get something out of him? That's I think more of my question. You know,
I think you have to develop him, dude. His discovery, he just happened randomly, and
because right now, if I'm looking at him, I probably wouldn't send more than a 3rd round pick for him.
exactly, like his ceiling is so much higher than that. I think you gotta see what you got.
I don't think it is though because of the control. Like 37 control potential is just so bad.
Well, I'll say this:
He
I had a
actually
guy
filled out-
gain like 20 or 25 points of control in one season in the minors. So you never know.
Yeah, but we're talking the changeup here.
Right.
Somehow he filled that thing out, dude. I think he'd play even with 37 control.
Oh, I agree. With the 127 change, it 100% plays. It's automatically. I think it would be, if I did it real quick, it would probably be the best curveball or changeup. Sorry, in the league.
He just ended up with like, 10 or 11 Ks per nine and like probably upwards of like 6 and 7 walks per nine.
Yeah, so 121 changeup for gross, and then the circle change 107. So if he developed 127 circle change, I mean, it would be something
A
unseen
lefty?
by 20 points. And he's a lefty.
That the circle change actually and the cutter actually make him better against right-handed batters.
Yep.
Interesting. Okay.
It's so weird. I love fucking weird guys like that, dude.
Yeah, I like it. It kind of bothered me when I was like looking at his system. I'm like, man, I really want this guy, but I'm not gonna trade a premium guy for this. You know, I'm not. Yeah, too much risk.
Very
So-
high risk, potentially a very high reward. Very swingy. He'll either be great or
and
absolutely
the game
trash.
values them pretty high. So, but they also value anybody with high potential high. So we'll see. That changeup is the big key here. All right, and that is going to be our time on Minnesota. We're going to move on to Montreal. Led by Ryan. He's got 9.
What's up with Ricky Vaughn, bro?
Ooh,
Jesus.
yeah, has struggled to start the year.
Pace for 54 home runs allowed.
He's been on the same contract too, so it's not a contract thing. I don't think. Very interesting.
No.
Is his defense bad? Let's hold on. Let me get to Montreal's page real quick.
That's
Like
amazing
I
how
said, he's
cheap he
giving
is
up
signed now.
dingers out the ass, bro. He's giving they're like 2.3 per nine or something.
His
Wow,
center
his
fielder
offense is
out,
terrible.
left fielder
Yeah, he
out.
needs to work on his offense.
Oh my
If your average
goodness,
is
Ryan.
worse than mine, then something's got to.
But like, how do you have a bad
Gotta
offense with
happen.
Romo, Gerstaker, Hollingsworth?
Well, first
Joe
of all,
Ford.
Hede shouldn't be in the majors right now.
Yeah, is
That's
that
part
hold
of
on?
it.
So can we call out Ryan for intentionally tanking by allowing this guy to play right now?
Yes.
Because it's
Yeah, like
it's
why
kind
is he
of a
playing?
disgrace. Like like what are we doing here?
I mean, his kid's contact mostly there. All he's got to do is have the power fill in, really. And
But like, look at his
he,
current ratings. Like he's not
That's
good
not
right
playable.
now. And gap power doesn't mean everything. It's yeah, no.
So I will counter that. He's a captain, and he's got he's square neutral with a 40 OPS plus because he's the best defensive center fielder in the league right
My
now.
bad.
So, I mean, I understand he's not hitting, but he's slumping. So even if he finishes like a 75 OPS plus, be a win or more just on
I'd
defense.
still say take him down to AAA. Let him develop more.
hmm
He's got nobody else though.
And
that's an issue because I mean, obviously, I'm
he's
selling
not winning
offense.
right now.
Alex is probably selling offense. I feel like there's quite a few teams selling offense, but we're not filling these holes.
Niels could be a very interesting rental because he's already 100% retained from San Francisco.
He is a player opt too. He might not even be a rental. At 35.
He'd probably opt out. He's having a pretty
Actually,
good
he'll
year.
be 36 at free agency. I don't know, dude.
I think he opts out.
Yeah, but he could definitely be a trade piece if Ryan decides to rebuild. I don't think it'll happen though. I don't think Ryan will trade him.
So-
Ryan
so
doesn't.
here's-
He's not like that.
Can't do that. Gerstacker's the only catcher on his 40 man, dude. Like if he's gonna trade Gerstacker,
Oh, that's a problem.
he has to blow the whole thing up. I don't know. He's got a lot of shit to do with this team. So it's
Oh
it's
no,
gonna take
his backup catcher is Park, who's a reliever as well.
Oh,
Interesting.
That's pretty cool, actually.
I'm okay with this.
He's
He doesn't
got
have
good
a
catcher
catcher.
ratings.
But he doesn't have the. Wait. He doesn't
Wait,
have
what
the
is
catcher
this?
rating. Did he not
Oh
teach
my
him it?
god, his catcher ratings are good.
It's good, but
But he
didn't-
doesn't have a positional rating. But he's doing fine, so I guess it's
Blame him,
okay.
His catcher
rating
ERA is
is
trash,
good.
but-
His catcher ERA is 4.55,
Yeah, it's no bueno.
and Niels's is 3.51. But Park's catcher ability is higher than Niels's. So honestly, he needs to stop letting Park catch. He doesn't have the rating.
I think it's more of Gerstaker needing a break. I mean,
So I mean, Park's played 12 games though. So in those 12 games, like is basically no one catching. I think is how that's being interpreted.
I just need Ryan to make a decision. Should you put Park in the minors and let him develop the catcher, and just completely
I think he has.
eliminate his reliever position, or just
But he's pitching really
continue
well
to
too.
let him pitch?
He's more valuable as a catcher, in my opinion.
Yeah, because of the pitch's sidearm, so his severe splits. Granted, it's against the side of the platoon you want it to be better against righties. Still,
Right.
he can't pitch to lefties at all.
He might be. He also just might be too old to fully learn catcher. Like he's 26. Like he's gonna be 27 next year. You may just need to ride him out as a starter.
True. All right, we're done with time on the Montreal Expos. We're gonna move on to the New York Yankees. Now ran by our newest GM, Chad.
And hey, I'm actually
doing
going
a
to
good
shout
job
Chad
so
out real
far.
quick. I've had a couple chats with him so far. He's an excellent addition.
Agreed.
Very thorough. He looks at the game, and I'm excited to see what he does with this squad going forward.
Finally, yeah, the Yankees needed an actual GM. Not just. We need to make the Yankees great again. Not really though.
Oh yeah.
All right, how does he improve his team? Does he trade Marlin?
Absolutely not. Get the
To me, what?
huh?
Huh? What? Yeah. So how do we improve the Yankees? What's his biggest need? I guess. Everything.
Trade
Yeah,
Gross
I
to
mean,
me.
it's a bad MLB team. There's no way around it really. I think what he's doing now is just the right
Okay,
track.
so I guess how can we look at it is what can he do to improve his system? Who do we trade? Dan Gross, first
Dan
guy that
Gross
we're
to
looking
me.
at.
Dan Gross is gone. Has to be.
Has to be. To where? So Will?
Me.
Who are you
Any
offering?
team.
The one dude I got from San Diego, the other podcast.
Another more
I
podcast
forget his
trades.
name.
All right.
One where we had the history of Nolan. I forget his name.
The history of Nolan. Yeah, I don't know. It's okay.
I think it
We're
was
on the
Al
Yankees.
Jones.
Was it Al Jones? Let's see.
If the Yankees want to get really wild and blow it up, I would
Yeah.
very much consider selling Steve
There's-
Green right now. He's 26
There
and
is
only
on
been in the league for 2
prospect
years.
pipeline.
I love Steve Green. I actually
I do
talked to
too.
Mike about him like 5
Yeah,
times.
he's gonna be good.
And he basically turned me down every time.
Yeah.
But he's sick.
My thinking is though, like he's 26, so like he would be hitting free agency if you didn't extend him into his age 31 season. So like an extension would take him probably past his prime years since he's a shortstop with not great range. Like if you wanted to capitalize and like really line up all your pieces in like the same window as like Marlin, then you could totally trade him for a huge
He's
haul.
playing second base for him.
Oh, is he? Okay, he can throw
Yeah,
it in
he-
second.
Yeah, he's got Jeff Jones at
Oh, yeah.
shortstop.
Yeah.
Great defensively.
He's platooning.
But here's
between
my
second
problem
and
with
third,
Green. Like he looks pretty, he's fragile, got 71 range, so he's alpha shortstop within a year or two. His splits like shit. So I don't know, man. There's no
But he's
way.
playing well. Capitalize.
For a third baseman, like he's not. I mean, he's a platoon third baseman.
He is not a good third baseman.
I mean, I'd play him at third as a platoon though, but I don't think
Mm-hmm.
he. But obviously, his value comes as an everyday player, and like it just kind of
Right.
depends on where you value that. I would trade for him, but I would also platoon. He wouldn't face the righty, which means he's only getting 150 at bats. So
Right.
it just depends on how you value that. It's the same thing with O'Neill,
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna move on to the next one. Hold on, let me find New York real quick.
Oh, Jimenez.
Bro,
Jimenez.
don't let Jimenez walk. I know it's not that simple and money like is hard to come by, but dude, you have to extend him. That's
Yeah.
all
Do
I'm
you
gonna
have
say.
any other info here? Like, is he thinking about letting them go?
I don't think he has any money.
Yeah.
As he said that a few times in the main chat. Only 14 mil for extensions right now.
Should be enough.
You can't be crazy about his defensive range, though.
He's on a down year, but he also has a history of awards and stuff. Like I would not be surprised if he was asking for the bag.
If he's asking for the bag, you could give him like 14, 20, 25, 25, 25 or
So
something.
let's look at his upcoming free agents though real quick. So he's Rob Jordan, who's probably going to be due for a big old pay increase after this 10 WAR projected season, and he's going to need to get paid at some point. He doesn't have a lot of money locked up past next year though, which is positive. He's not like Mike.
You could make it work. You could
You
you
could-
could structure it weird.
Yeah, I don't
Backloader.
disagree. You could 100% make it work. Kodo.
I think he's regretting that David Gonzalez contract.
Let's see. Yep. He probably I feel like he knows that he could spend that money elsewhere. But what is David? He's his number 2, his only lefty on his staff. I mean, it depends on how much you value that too, you know. So, how can Josh improve this team?
Other than keeping Jimenez.
Yep.
Yeah, really.
I mean, Jimenez it's improving his team, but it's also keeping it very much the same with just more expensive pieces. So, I don't think Jimenez is going to be cheap, but yeah. How can he improve?
Man.
I wonder if he wants to, and I speak only because of the defense, if he can live with it. Ken Robinson, who's 43 rating, 56 rating and right. He's like a negative 3.5 zone rating this year. Is that somebody who wants to get a big return on, to help him out? Because he probably should be playing DH.
I feel like you don't deal Robinson because he's one of the rare lefties that's still a stud versus lefties.
Agreed.
So you live with the defense. That's the question.
I think you have to.
I mean, he's only 23. He's not going to be due for a defensive decline for at least a little while. At least I don't think so. Like
more severe, I could see that, but when he's 78 contact, 76 power versus left, so
he's going to be fine.
You just get that. That's how he's going to pace for 50 homers. I mean, this guy's a fucking animal, dude.
Yeah, and then he has Pat Powell too. 65, 2 years left. Kodo will get paid. Run more.
Man, Pat Powell's had a sneaky, Hall of Fame caliber career.
Oh, really?
His defense is awesome, actually. He's like, there's just that.
Maybe not Hall of Fame caliber, but he has been very good.
He has had a phenomenal career, but he needs to do it for another.
Yeah, I take back the Hall of Fame, but it's been sneaky good still.
Geez, look at that WAR: 5.1, 7.4, 5.5, 3.1,
Just
6.1, 6.4.
I actually drafted him, and he looks exactly how he was when I drafted him, and I regretted dealing him to Eric Cleveland for sure.
And 106 game average of 5 WAR a year.
Well, the defense is elite, and he also doesn't split hard at all, so he's still more than solid versus the lefty.
Yeah. All right, boys. We're gonna move on to the Oakland Athletics. How can they improve AOS teams?
They're definitely pushing right now, as they should. I think one concern you may have is that it seems like a lot of their big sluggers aren't very good at defense, but they're winning a lot of games, so who cares? That's all I got, really.
Staying around the average mark, or just the 0 mark on zone rating.
Okay, that's good.
Picking up good numbers in shortstop and center field, and second. R-line playing second base, okay?
He's got to get Lopez out of the lineup.
Pat?
Yeah, I mean, he's getting so much production elsewhere that to be getting absolutely nothing out of first base offensively or defensively, I mean, that's just...
Well, he's playing Sandoval at first.
Yeah, he's playing Sandoval at first. Well, there's only 16 games started, though.
Lopez. Oh, wow. Lopez versus
I see Lopez
righties.
playing first right now.
Yeah, Lopez versus righties. Yeah, you're right.
It is Lopez.
Interesting. Okay, well, he
yeah,
needs to get rid of him.
First base is a deep position.
You can find someone for sure.
And Sandoval has to DH. So.
Yo, come get Esteban.
Oh, shit.
He's trash.
I don't think he has the system. I don't want to know Nostros.
I was going to say, if he added Esteban, though, and Esteban figure that shit out, like that would be.
Yeah, I've already ran train on his system, so
Man, look at the back of
Oh.
Oakland's bullpen.
yeah, I will. One sec here. I'm going
I
to
remember he had
Moon
him.
and Gilbert.
Yeah.
My God.
just
I'm
both
telling you, dude,
stoppers
that trade with Vegas was the signature move of the offseason.
during the podcast too. Yeah, insane.
Yeah.
Absolutely like lights out right now.
Wow.
Yeah, like all three of them.
Dude, Mike Lucas is his best pitcher.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, Mike Lucas.
Mike Lucas.
And he's all like straight average ratings too.
He's a lefty though. That's a lefty with high stamina, not fragile. Like he's so underrated with this contract too. And RJ is still currently retaining in the 4th year's a team option for $6 million. I think he's the most, not the most valuable, but like I thought that I should have had way more interest in him from a starting perspective.
Totally agree.
Okay, so how does Oakland improve, real quick? Actually, the timer hit, but does anybody else have anything they want to say? We have a lot of AL West teams here, so. What do you say?
Trade for Esteban, make it happen.
Trade for Esteban. Come get him.
Yeah, he might need a catcher like everybody else, but I don't know. Valance is great defense and better than average OPS plus in the past, so
Right,
maybe
he's
not.
keeping the catcher ERA low too, so.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna go move on to the Philadelphia Phillies. Ooh. Today traded Don Smith to Havana for the main piece in this trade, Mercado. Was he previously yours too?
He was. So what year is that? 56. 3 years ago, I traded him. He was still a relief prospect at the time. Then Perry and James, who are still currently relief prospects. So 3, solid relievers for Christian Garcia, who was like a 70, 23-year-old reliever. And at the time, I still really thought that I would be able to compete with the core that I had. And then I think his circle change like exploded. It took him from like a reliever to a bona fide starter. I think he also got a velo bump at some point. But he is a monster. He's a captain.
He came out of high school with 94, 96, and he's up to
97, 99.
97, 99. So he's still only 22. He could still improve a little more too.
Yeah. It's between him and Watkins. I gave Chris the choice on that. He took Watkins. If it were me, I'd probably do the same. I think Watkins is absolute stud.
Filthy.
And you have the leverage, though. You probably could have gotten Watkins.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, the way I gave the offer was, Mercado or Watkins and Farrow, and I just let him pick. I just thought that was fair. I'm basically asking him to choose which of his children he loves more. So I was fine with it either way.
So how does RJ improve his team? I'm gonna say, sell more players.
Yeah,
And
pretty much.
Start the 5-year. Yeah, move on with the 5-year plan.
Have more relievers become 80 overall.
Well,
starters.
just work with Mercado basically. That's all you have to do. All right, we're gonna move on here to the Pittsburgh Pirates. Pretty average roster, all on the board, or all around the board. Maybe not actually. Offense kind of looks weak.
It is pretty weak.
What happened to Lara? Is he hurt? Oh wow, he lost a lot of his players. 62, 48, 58, 38, 54. So he has 2 50s and a 60 on the injured list right now. Or 50 pluses and 60 pluses. But what can Tom do to improve this team?
Wait for Mark Decker because he's the stud.
He lacks contact across the board. I'm seeing.
Yeah.
Um, First
It's an
base.
old, it's an old rotation um, that I don't trust. Like I think if you think now is the time, like you may want to push for another starter.
Yeah, it is pretty old. Jeff Chase.
And let
The name.
Chris Rowe's curveball still isn't filling out, which is scary.
Yeah, at 25 too. This is terrifying for Tom here.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of crazy
You
that he's
mentioned-
still a 61 rated starter, but I mean the changeup is so good too.
I was thinking Tony Campos, he got there playing center field, should really be a fourth outfielder. But pretty much can't hit,
Well, no,
but he plays
his main
elite
center fielder
defense at all
Lara
three.
is on the injured list.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so this actually I think is his fourth outfielder. Realistically.
He's got a lot of almost his whole, almost everybody on there can come off the DL right now.
They're close.
I show 1, 2, like 2, 3 guys that are still hurt, 4 guys that are still hurt.
Yeah.
Everybody else is all white.
It's tough midseason, but hey, Tom's keeping it together actually for the overall strength of the roster. I think that 25 and 22 is actually pretty good. I kind of want to look at his run differential real quick.
I just
30.
gave
He's
him.
keeping up. I mean,
Jesus Rodriguez. So
You did what?
He's one of the guys you want to see win too.
All right, we're gonna move on to our next team here. Let me see, who is that? Portland. Okay, how does
It's
Portland
time to
improve
shit on the
their team?
Beavers, man.
Okay, yeah, I'm ready for this. I'm gonna start. Buy an outfielder, like a legit outfielder, like someone who can hit balls. You know, Esteban's cool, but I pointed out his flaws. John Holton's cool, but also, yeah, I think falling
Just
off.
underperforming, yeah.
You need to buy an outfield. That's my 2 cents. Somehow, some way. I think there's enough selling teams, but it just depends on what you want to do at 20 and 27. I think an outfield would help you the most. Lamb is grinding on the pitching stuff, but the rest of your offense is just pretty meh. You gotta, and that outfield is just the way to do it.
Yeah, outside of Choi and Mauro Martinez, just about everybody is underperforming.
Yeah. Anyone else got? Not anyone else, but what do you guys have to say? RJ, Spencer, Will.
You
just
pretty
wanted
much
to check
said
out what Shirashi's doing.
Sirashi, yeah. Let me pull him up. He is the number 2. Marlin could not pass him as he entered the league. What is up with this headshot? He's just,
Oh yeah.
Can't hit, man. What's wrong with this guy?
I don't know. You know, he hit the first year, and then he hit a little bit, and just lost his mojo after the first couple of years.
yeah, has not looked good really, like ever in your minor league system. Maybe that 1 year at AA, but man, he kind
You
of.
think maybe he might
still
just
20
come on the
contact is
scene
allowed.
as soon as he hits the majors? Maybe he's just underperforming as a minor leaguer, but maybe he hits the majors and starts performing.
Yeah, he
He's
is pissed.
unhappy.
He wants to be playing in the majors.
Yeah. There's still 20 contacts to fill out, which could absolutely help, along with the power, obviously. I still think he's a stud. Like, this is a future MVP.
Yeah,
If
the
it's
fragility scares me.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
That's why you should trade him to me. But anyways, the fragility still scares me. I think that the offensive numbers down here scare me. I think Will also has a decent point that yes, he could pop off once he hits the majors, but yeah, he's a good prospect
Do you
still.
do that then? Do you just pull him up and just say fuck it, or like how do you handle
No, hell no, dude. No. He's not close. 56 contact, he'll get wrecked right now, and it'd probably ruin him more than. Not saying that he already has, but like his minor league upbringing has not been the best. Like you can just see it from the stats. So, like I don't know how much a man can take in terms of like getting pooped on, you know. As a top prospect, if you look at other top prospects, right? I mean, let's look at Hollingsworth real quick. How did he do in the minors? You know, did he pop off? That's the real question. I think he actually. He went. He was a college player. He was 21 when he came out, but I mean, he still had a decent career. I guess he's not a good comparison. But all right, anyone else have anything to say on John's team? How does he need to improve?
I guess I need a catcher, a real catcher too, but everybody does. So
I think, well, maybe not because he hasn't told out yet, but Crashaw might be a better example of like a similar guy coming through finals, and he's kind of underperformed for the most part. And, you know, his current slash line may just be a blip, but he was mostly under 100 OPS plus coming up. And I also pushed him aggressive, so that may have been the reason for that too.
Is Crashaw's power developing? It's kind of terrifying, isn't it? Anyways, we'll get to Crashaw when we get to your team. Any last thoughts on Portland? Buy an outfielder.
well, I plan on bringing up Cruz because he's all but the eye is completely filled out. Plays superior defense, steals bags. You know, lefty hitter, balance the lineup a bit. So I'm finally gonna.
John, this is not what you need though, dog. You need offense. Like I get the defense is there and the speed's there, but like, I don't know. I think you need offense. But we got to move on here. Cruz is cool though, for sure. San Diego Padres, another team on the cusp, but really performing this first year, or not first year, but this year. You know. Was that you, Spencer?
I mean, I just said Podtober because I'm excited.
Oh, Podtober. Anyone want to start this one off, or I can?
Yeah, go ahead.
So he kind of had an off-season reshaping. He picked up Tipping, a really good pickup. He's had Whitehead. Schaefer, I thought was a really, really nice pickup. I love this Avoid K. He reminds me of Manny Ramirez, the guy I traded to Chris way back in the day. This guy actually really reminds me of that. But I thought he was a really nice free agent pickup. I think the one way that he can improve his team is to buy another lefty, outfield offensive piece, or infield even. Carrying only 2 lefty bats and 2 switch hitters on your lineup is kind of like not optimal, I guess, especially when you're facing righties 75% of the time. His staff is actually, I would think, one of the better ones that we've seen over today, really. So I don't think he has to really improve in his pitching stuff. I think he could definitely buy a reliever. What do you guys think?
Yeah. And it's also worth noting that his park slightly favors lefties over righties, so that's even more motivation to bring in another lefty bat. Rotation looks awesome. I'm really happy Stringfellow's filled out.
Right? This dude's a true ace. I'm so excited to see him start a playoff game.
I know. But yeah, bring in a reliever, bring in a lefty bat. And don't. But also, like, I wouldn't push it all in for one season because the Stringfellow, the Padres can have, you know, a lot of years contending.
Oh, I think
I'm
the
also
Padres
excited to see Aguilar performing in San Diego because he wasn't cutting it in KC.
really taking advantage of the big ballpark.
Yeah, that movement is scary, but that's where you want to put it. Fly ball pitcher in a big park.
Is his outfield defense pretty good? I know Schaefer's fine in center.
Yeah, it looks like he had him relieving for a while, but let's see, pitching stats. Let's see his splits here. As a starter, he 2 and 4 starts, 2.73 ERA, striking out better than the guy an inning. So not bad.
Yeah, so I think for Nolan, it's basically just get a lefty outfielder, and then buy a reliever. I think is probably the best shot for him. RJ, you got anything?
No, I completely agree with a reliever. I mean, I think Nolan needs to kind of respect his team's done so far, and make sure he doesn't waste it.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, we are going to move on to the San Francisco Giants. Wow, they were awful. A 277 win percentage. I'm going to do the math really quick here. Only on pace for 44.8 wins, so 45 wins. He has to find a way to improve, right?
Yeah.
He has to hit 50 wins. That's all.
Exactly. So what can he do right now? What's a move he can make today to try and get him closer to 50? Because he's 5 off right now. Kind of terrifying.
Claim a bat off of waivers, because
Yep.
anything off of waivers is better than what he has right now.
I don't want to show. Hold on. I don't want to show waivers. I don't want to show my claims. But there is some decent bats on there. No, I think it's.
Oh yeah.
I'm not going to
He's
show,
got
but
nothing in the outfield right now, basically.
I'm a massive player in the waiver market, so I can't be doing. I
So
can't.
let me ask you this, guys. Why isn't Jamie Sinclair in MLB right now?
Because he's tanking.
Oh. Okay.
I mean, I'm guessing he probably doesn't want to start his clock. He's nice though.
I understand, but like, fucking giving Eric McGee 400 at bats, dude.
Yeah. Also, he has probably the single worst everyday player in the league right now in Joe McGinnity at third base, former Mariner, and like as we've already discussed, third base is a very deep position. So if you could easily sign a dude for like $2 million off free agency
Even
right
worse
now,
than Jeff Little?
I think so.
Who would you rather have?
Three OPS
Hold on.
plus.
Who would you rather have? This guy, McGinnity, or this guy I picked up on waivers from Miami?
Jorge Cortez easily.
Right, and San Francisco had a higher waiver priority than I did at the time. It was 100% on the table move that he could have made, but he chose to stick with McGinnity.
And that's what the 50-win rule is for, dude. Like, he's got to figure out. Obviously, Prather's trying to get the number 1 pick. He's been doing that for 2 years now. But he needs to figure out a way to balance that, hitting that threshold, which is why I like it to be in place, because it gave you opportunity to get court. You know what I mean? Otherwise,
Yep.
should have gotten.
Exactly. That is our time on the Giants. All right, we're going to keep on moving here. We're going to move on to the Seattle Mariners. What do the Mariners need to do to improve today? I was going to say buy Walt Lee, but this guy's cool too.
Marvell. I like Marvell as a platoon, as a strong side of the platoon. But yeah, the help is all going to come in the bats if I do end up buying. Like, the pitching staff looks really good right now, but we are not producing runs.
Buy a corner outfielder.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although my corner outfielders aren't the worst spot on my team right now. Like, Bass Lovers has been underrated.
I love Melton. This dude's awesome.
Melton's awesome, but he's kind of getting battered right now.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully he improves. Yeah, no, I'm sticking with him. He's at like a 192 BABIP right now.
He'll catch up, I think.
Yeah, and he'll end up hitting like 240 on the year or something like that.
All right, with that eye, his on base is going to come up too. He's due for a good second half of the season, I'd say, or a good.
Alex Ross, I'm really scared. He is starting to die.
Who, Ross?
3 years left on his deal. Yeah, he's starting to die, and he has 3 years left on his deal, and he's just putrid this year.
Yeah, so 32 OPS plus.
So improvements, outfield, corner outfield, basically. Get rid of Song.
Yep.
That's a brutal contract right there.
Yep.
So why is SETI human all of a sudden? Didn't lose any ratings.
Oops.
He's just allowing more home runs, I guess. I don't know.
He's always allowed a lot of home runs.
3 years in a row.
Year. Yeah.
The 3 years in a row that what? His peripherals haven't changed really.
No.
Well, we had noticed that there was a massive change in between the 2056 and 2057 seasons. One season before we switched to 21.
Yeah.
So I think I'm not entirely sure what happened there, but yeah, I can just say that there was something happening in the background that would spur that.
I'll say this, he's always given up a lot of home run. I mean, 28, 23, 24, 38, 30. 2056 was the anomaly with 19. Then he had 34, 40. He's on a pace for 47. He always did that, but he gets away with it because he walks so few guys. So it's a lot of solo shots. And, I mean, looking at it, His strikeout rate's better than before. His walk rate's career low.
Right, that's why it's confusing. Like he should be
Yeah.
having his best
Higher
season.
batter. Yeah, he's
But
the worst.
it doesn't even matter. His career R-WAR has outperformed his career F-WAR by like a full 7 wins.
That
Like,
just means your defense is bad, right?
no, that means it's good. Because
okay.
F-WAR is the one that's FIP based, but also it does mean it's a lot of solo shots because FIP, counts all home runs the same.
I mean, whip under 1.
So I have to ask real quick: was Joe Curry worth it? Because I remember
Yeah.
you traded me Artie Kern to free up the money for Joe Curry.
Joe Curry,
Wow, I just realized you have 2 wrecked guys in your rotation, and yet they never seem to get hurt.
because one's steady and the other's a knuckleballer.
Yeah, this dude's an 86
the way
to
it
88
works.
miles per hour.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's just throwing a whip
Yeah,
out
like
there.
Tim Wakefield pitched forever,
Yeah, exactly.
True.
It's more just accumulation
Negros.
because he's 39 than the fact that he's always getting hurt.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna move on to the next team, the St. Louis Cardinals. Anyone want to start it off?
You're the
man, that
Cardinal.
pitching staff. Just get some offense, man. That pitching, the whole staff
Oh,
is
dude,
crazy.
his salary in 2062 is up to 211 million. That's 4 years down the road.
Oh my God.
Hold on.
80 pot.
I have been harping that these 2 years, 210 and 220, those are pretty big numbers. I didn't think that he would get that third 2062 all the way up to 211. That's bonkers to me. I mean, that's
And that's with 13 40-man guys off the roster too, including
oh my goodness.
Alro, Onma, Middle Coop, Mooney. I mean, these aren't like replaceable names. That's Mike's so confident he's gonna figure this out, but like
Hanma boosted too this past sim.
That's crazy.
Yeah, caught
Like,
up
it's a
with.
big boost.
I don't know what happened there, but his velocity was dying. But I mean, he seems to have found something out about it. So
He went to drive line.
he went to drive line.
Wow.
But what can Mike do today to improve this roster?
Man, start trading guys that are going to get owed a lot of money in a couple of years. Like, honestly, you got to work it. Like
Mauro Gonzalez has to get traded.
You think he's gonna flip him?
Has to.
Yeah.
Who would you rather have? So if you're Mike in this situation, who would you rather have? A very expensive Moro Gonzalez, or well, I mean, I guess he's winning right now, but or this Caden Henderson, 71 potential starter. I don't know.
Morrow. That's not really that close. Morrow's really good.
I'm saying if you're Mike though, like I don't know, I feel like you'd rather keep the prospects, but again, we all know his strategy, so.
The reason he needs to get rid of Morrow is because he already has the replacement in house. He can just play Cates, use Morrow to get whatever he needs, I guess. But the fact is, he's not going to be able to retain Morrow. Oh,
True. Yeah, that large salary number down the road just gives me like chills from a commissioner standpoint. Like, this just doesn't. Yeah, no. Okay.
That is wild.
Yeah. Not many teams run at this much of a future money, I don't know, standpoint, I guess. All right, it is time to move on.
Also, one more thing. It's really sad that he got your whole draft and he's still got like no farm system to speak of.
He basically traded it for like.
I know he did, and to be honest, the whole sequence of events was like a huge L for Mike. I feel like he won the bet, but like I feel like you still won the war somehow.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's tough losing a draft, but again, I mean, I'm not like upset. Like I had kind of come to terms with it. I think mid through last season that. Again, we've talked about this. I was more upset the fact that I couldn't trade the assets last year than I was losing it. So it's going to be interesting for Mike coming up in the next few years, though, to see how he manages this financial. I don't know what you would even call this, like, just a shit ton of future money.
Yep. God damn, man, that pitch. 380 pot guys, a 68 and a 63 in the starting rotation. I mean, it's got to be the best in terms of rating potential.
He probably has the best, like,
staff.
the best cumulative pitching staff in, like, maybe 5 years, maybe 10,
Maybe ever.
No, there's been better staffs. I can guarantee you.
Yeah. 380s?
I think
Yeah,
so.
Tim, I'm not sure I'm agreeing with you on that. I can't think of one off the top of my head that was more
Let me
complete.
hold on. I don't want to spit out names right now, but there were some staffs back in the day that would 1,000% rival Mike's. And I'm talking old Miami, old Chicago, old Reds,
Old LA.
old LA. There were some serious staffs, and Minnesota had Lewis Thorpe and Huascar Yanoa at the same time. That's the best 1-2 combo.
Yeah, I remember that. He
That
couldn't,
I'm not
couldn't
saying his
afford-
third was good, and he never made the playoffs with them. Well, actually, maybe he did make them 2029, 2024. But this dude was also he picked him up right in this or not picked him up, but they were together at the same time during this, you know. But again, I'll have to look. We are on the Texas Rangers now. What do we have to talk about, or not? What do we have to talk about? How can Jeremy improve this team?
Trade Larson.
Free Larson, trade him to Oakland.
Free Larson.
Okay, so hold on. We got to realize that Texas is just about 500.
Stop it.
You think he's gonna sell at this point? He did
Look-
not
look-
sell
look-
last year when he was close to 50 wins.
Does he do well though? Nothing. So the idea that you're just gonna retain a guy like Larson, who
He actually has a pretty good
put him on a $6.6 million extension. What the fuck?
And I feel like Larson's extremely. I don't know. I feel like Texas is pretty now that I'm looking at it and he has it on paper here, like we're in the middle of a season. I think that his staff is actually not bad. Like he needs to improve on the back end a little bit, but 50 overall as your 5-starter. I don't know, as a lefty, what's he carrying? 2 lefties, 3 righties, Anu, which Anu is. I don't know why he got Anu. That was kind of like a weird move, but his offense is average. Also needs to acquire an outfielder.
The thing is though, if you're relievers are top end relievers are only super valuable if you're a playoff team, and Texas is probably at least 2 years away from being a playoff team. So do you want to hold on to Larson and have 2 years be a wait so he can have 1 year as a playoff guy for you, maybe, or could you trade him with 3 years left on his deal and get an insane haul because he has 160 stuff? To me, that's an easy decision.
So you don't think that Texas, with maybe 1 or 2 byes this year, could join the playoff race?
No, they're not making the playoffs next year.
I'm talking joining the playoff race. I'm not saying making the playoffs because I don't think they're going to make the playoffs either. But I think they're going to.
No,
I think they'll fuck around in the bottom of the wild card though. I think
They're
they're
all
going to play.
not competitive right now.
What did you say, RJ?
Offense is just not competitive right now.
Oh, exactly.
Agreed.
That's what I'm saying. He needs to acquire some offense. But
Right, but so who's selling offense right now? That's what I want to know.
me, sir.
Yeah, but Tim, you've been selling it for
Yeah, nobody wants my players. It's okay.
Jeremy should be buying offense. He plays in Texas. His park's built for it.
Is it really? I always thought that Texas.
I'm pretty sure it's a
Texas-
hit.
Oh, it
Texas
is.
is-
Wow, it's pretty average.
Park, yeah. No, it's solidly a hitter's park.
All right, we're going to move on to our next team. We're almost done here. The Toronto Blue Jays. Another under-spoken, under-talked about team, but also some really good pieces here. Just a review, or not review, but just over the top. Andre Luis Biscara. He was a former top prospect. Let me see how high he made it real quick. If anybody wants to start, though, more than welcome. He was a number 4, I think, at his top.
I'm trying to figure out why Jose Lopez is hitting third.
Ooh.
Still a good point.
What? Because his lineup was autoed?
I don't think that the auto lineup would do that, though.
It would.
I auto all my lineups, and it doesn't do that.
If he just switched Biscara and Lopez,
Yeah, I don't understand why Biscara is batting 7, but interesting.
I think so he had this. I think DeWitt was his starter and right. He looks like a solid number 3 hitter.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I don't know if he just put Lopez in for the place he was in and then didn't
Yep.
change the lineup around or what. But
Yeah, that's probably what happened. Just slotted him in. His offense is not bad though.
nah,
Honestly. kind of confused as to why he sucks. 438 win percentage. His offense is good on the overalls, but not good on the stat sheet. His staff is just about equally as bad, but also
The staff is 16th out of 16 and 5th. So
he's also okay. I'm gonna drop some knowledge real quick. Stop using the setup role in the bullpen. Game uses some dumb script for what setup means. So his best reliever by like country mile is like 6th in innings. He's only appeared in 11 games so far. Yeah, as a setup.
That's why I love the stopper role. Because I'll take my best guy I got in the pen, put him as a stopper, and he's going to get 100 plus innings a year.
All right, so real quick, wrapping up the Blue Jays, what can he do to improve?
Make Pasai a stopper and get Lopez out of the 3 spot. I'm done.
Yeah, Pasai's got the stamina to be a stopper, too. 68 stamina. 66, excuse me.
Yeah.
And yeah, like you said about Lopez, corner outfielder.
Get some ground ballers on the staff. They're all giving up a shit ton of home runs.
Yes, last in the league.
True. All right, we're going to move on here. In the bottom 2.
Vegas.
Bottom alphabetical order. Not the bottom of my heart, though. Vegas. Let's look at his team real quick here.
Stayed, of course, with the rebuild now.
It is a dead team in Vegas. So I guess it's not more of like how can Vegas improve because we know they're going to be bad for the next like 10 years. It is Wilson leading the charge. I'm joking. Nobody laughed. Who can Wilson trade to improve this team, improve his system? I guess Estrada or Core. Both
he already
former
made the
Phillies.
best move he could by getting up to number 2 to take Vasa. Like, that's the best move he could have made this year, other than, like, blowing it up, and he did it. So,
agree.
Like, Vasa's insane, especially as a two-way guy.
As soon as his changeup started moving, I did everything I could.
He really has a nice future 1-2 between Juan Carlos Perales and Vasa. Honestly. Please don't shoot.
Oh, yeah.
This is the GOAT nickname. Harambe's nickname.
Oh, that's why.
Yeah, it reuses them, so.
Yeah,
I found that out like the other day. I was like, why is this a nickname?
That's right.
And like 4 players have had that nickname.
That's why it's fun if we edit names because it'll reuse them.
For those listening that don't know, back in the day, there was a player that we named Jesus, Please Don't Shoot Harambe. And so now Please Don't Shoot gets reused as a nickname.
Please don't shoot. Oh, dude, this was so messed up. Not really.
No.
Well, Harambe shooting was terrible, but.
Yeah, no, we don't need to say a ton about Vegas because we know Wilson is doing a better job than any of us could.
You sure about that?
Yep.
Yeah.
So he's 17th. I mean, I guess hold on. The prospect pipeline actually gives us a better look at this. So he has 25 guys in the top 500 of prospects. Not bad. Not a bad rebuild, but I think he acquired a little too much quantity, not enough quality. Would be my one criticism. Quality? No, quality.
His prospect list is very pitching heavy, which is good in that everybody wants pitching, but I don't know how much his system has coming up, but damn, his top 9 pitching guys are all 60-plus spots. So that's a good foundation.
He's going to have to diversify his portfolio a little bit as he goes here.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you were to compare the 2 rebuilds, I am far off worse in terms of quantity, but I have more quality than he does. So just depends on how you look at it. The quantity thing also comes with not having a draft this past year, but that's beside itself. We are done with Vegas's time. Let's move on to our last but not least team, the Washington Nationals.
This is the saddest story in PSD.
I was gonna say it's
right
very
now.
depressing. What do you got, RJ?
I don't know, dude. I mean, I'm looking at the team. I feel like it should be a lot better than it is. Dan Park's not hitting again. Lord knows where they'd be if Mendez wasn't pacing for a 12-win season right now. Like,
Mendez is like what you expect at a park, like, not really, but in reality, yeah. Like that same, not the same WAR figure, but producing, both 71 overalls.
yeah, I mean, Park had 140 OPS plus his whole career basically, and all of a sudden he just can't hit.
True.
And that Mendez BABIP is insane. It's still 436, and we're in the middle of May. That's incredible.
And then to trade for Danny Cherry and have him come out and basically shit the place up. I mean, I don't know, dude.
His staff is nice too. Cherry, Rogers, Kudo, Price, and Stewart. I really like Kudo. I really wanted him last year. Would you say, Will?
And some of them are doing well. Like Stewart's having a good year.
That staff should play, and it's not.
Yeah, but he doesn't have any relievers. That's the issue. I
What
would bet
happened
you
to
that his.
Adam, dude? I remember last year talking about him potentially being like a third starter in the playoffs, and he has really regressed since then.
Who, Adam?
Yeah, Dom or Adam?
I just say Adam.
I say Adame.
No, he doesn't have the accent over the E. Adam.
I know he's American, yeah, but
come on, dude.
I don't know.
Get it together.
Sounds cooler. Sounds cooler.
So it looks like his control, instead of control developing, it just completely died.
He was projected for 63, and it's completely regressed to where it is now. He is almost 27.
He's done.
He's being sold as a starter right now. I was willing to take a shot on him and just give him the chance to start in the Cincinnati on my team, just because I knew I was going to lose. But Zach didn't want it, so
he's kind of making me think that you might be right about Jiang too. So he's 43 control, rocking the 6.2 walks per 9. So
yeah,
37 probably like a 7 plus.
Well, let me see if I can find the leaders real quick. We'll look at their control numbers.
Yeah, 7 walks per 9 is unplayable.
Let's do this real quick.
Even if he's striking out 13 and not giving up any homers?
Yeah, absolutely. And also, like, even if, the math works out to where it's not horrible, like, that's just so erratic that I don't want to deal with it.
Okay, so I have a few questions. Why is Chris Jones walking 5.6 guys per 9 right now?
Because we're in May. It's a small sample.
Mitch Welch. That's kind of crazy to me that Mitch Welch has the highest, or not the second highest walks per 9 in the league. But also his Ks per 9 is the highest by a decent amount. And his home runs per 9 is probably the lowest, top 3. So, all right, hold on though. Let's get back to Washington. What does he need to do to improve, like today? I mean, we kind of know that this season might be done for him. He's 20 and 28. Where does he go from here?
I mean, the starting pitching is good. Needs an actual bullpen.
Bring in more power. 14th in home runs. But the on base is way higher than that. If you have guys like Davis and Mendez at the top of the order, maybe bring in guys that can really bring them around. I know Dan Park should be that guy, but he may just be, living with his money now.
Did he get paid?
Yeah, he got paid.
Oh, that's why. He secured the bag and said, fuck this.
And he was down last year, too, though, and this is the first year of his deal, so who knows?
First year to big money extension, 6 at 195.
It's a fair deal.
Player option on the end. I hate player options on the end, man.
I can't believe we're talking about Washington and we're not talking about Kevin Davis.
Why did I not bring him up the first
Legend.
moment I could?
Exactly. Will, do you have anything to say about Kevin
Davis, he has a .6 WAR right now, but I think he's really on pace for 6.0.
You think he's going to bring it back around?
Oh yeah, it's Kevin Davis.
Struggling versus the lefty this year.
What? What the fuck happened in that year in Montreal, dude?
He took Ryan gave him roids and a lot of poutine.
Right, but he just
And
randomly put up like a
Park.
17 zone rating too, and like he didn't even do half that in Washington last year. He just had one of the greatest right field defense seasons ever, like out of nowhere.
Is it because he was playing with Kip?
Kip,
And they were just
probably.
both good? And Kip could make it to others? I don't know. Let me see.
Maybe.
Kip was good in back in the day, but he's not. I don't think he was super elite, was he? Oh, he kind of was, actually.
Yeah, he won an MVP.
No, I'm saying defensively. He was elite when he
Oh.
came up, though. He's a 102 center fielder. So, I mean, I don't know. Could be a product of Kip. Kip is dying. Holy crap.
Yep.
Rip, dude.
He
Really?
got a ring.
Live on stream, Kip Hollingsworth, just about dead.
Mm.
Fragile. Ryan's on the hook for another, oh my goodness, like 200 million.
Oh my god!
If Kip ends up
Shit.
dying over the course of the season, Ryan is done for at least 5 years.
Ryan going in the rebuild mode.
And Montreal cannot be a fun rebuilding team. I can't imagine their market size is that big after not so few
think his
seasons of winning, but you know what I mean.
I think his
Imagine not
market
having a
size
big
grew.
market.
And he's actually made playoffs 6 years in a row prior. Got his payroll kind of fluctuated a little bit, but yeah. All right, anything else to say about Washington, though? We've kind of gotten off topic a few times on his team, but...
We were actually pretty good at staying on topic until the very end.
Yeah, we did good. Kept us in line. Yeah, I don't know. I maybe sell if I were him. Maybe try and get Park out. Try and get Watkins from... try and get Watkins from Havana or something.
Dude. Stop it.
What?
Back to Havana.
Does Havana need a captain? Para's cool though. I like Para.
He could play Parra anywhere though.
Yeah, he totally could move Para to. He plays outfield, doesn't he? Oh no, he's not really a corner. But again, could play anywhere. Dude, I don't know. I think Park would really succeed on another team, but I'm not entirely sure why he sucks right now. Honestly, he probably just needs a chain of
John Harris for Park.
What do you say?
He said John Harris for Park.
Oh, John Harris for Park.
Trade John Harris for Park. Get Washington to hold on to some salary.
Washington has like a sneaky offensive Park too.
Yep.
Rivals mine actually, I think. Very close. Close, yeah. What's Colorado? Colorado's like 1.2 on the home runs. Crazy. All right, well, that's going to wrap up our episode 10 here. I'm your host, Tim, along with the guys. Have a good night or day.